Hello viewers, welcome to the eSeniors GT3 Championship with the final race of the Group 1 drivers of this week anyway, taking part at the lovely Mount Panorama. It's an early start to the day, so the track's running cold or running cool. Tyres is going to be critical, and we've seen quite a different race attitude this week actually. In a number of the races, we've actually had car-on-car incident-free races, which is, I think since I've been racing with eSeniors, it's in the rarity. But to have two within 1 week, you know, it's quite bizarre that. What we have seen though is a lot of cars trying to beat the concrete and hit them walls, and it is costing people their their races actually. As far as going to the pits, getting damaged, coming out the pits and doing exactly the same again. It's very easy how you can go from P1 to P20 in this race on this track. So we're going to go first of all to the table. So the table as it stands, you can see there Peter, Carlo and Andrea and Chris. What that doesn't tell you is the true story of the 12 races that they've selected, the 12 best wins, and as it stands, Peter's out on his own more or less. So I think it's fair to say at the end of this championship or this week, Peter will be crowned champion. But let's not dwell on that. Let's go to the race and let's get on board with David Noble, who was one of the few first outs, and I'll do a lap guide. Just before that, introduce Jeremy, and we've got Don Queen this week. I say hi, guys.
Hello, hey everyone.
So hopefully
Thanks
everybody.
For having me back.
Yeah, no problem. Hopefully everybody can hear. If you've got a problem with the voices and the volume levels, let me know. Okay, so we've got David coming round to the end now. So what we'll do is I'll do the usual lap guide with David. We'll sit on board with him from the cockpit so we get to see the view he's got. Now he's got a PWS car in front of him. We'll do PWS in a minute. So he's going down the start-finish straight, quite a short straight, keep the car to the right, brake after the 100 metres, get the car turning on the apex, and this is not corner 1, hell corner. So a little bit deep there, but he's got the power down well. So now onto the mountain straight. The idea here is to get as much power down as you can. If you get a good run out that previous corner, you do have the ability to pass. But again, it's touch and go depending on the performance of the wing of the car you're trying to pass. So he'll stay left here, and between the 150, he'll brake hard, and he'll rotate the car in either third or second gear depending on the nature of how he wants to take the corner. He'll get the power down. That was quarry. He'll move the car to the right, and this is the cutting, which is classed as corners 3, 4 and 5. He'll get the car to go high to the right, then to the left on the inside, taking it as close as possible, and then he'll go to the right, then to the left, and this is Griffin's Mount, and then Reed Park. So just tap the brake there or ease off the gas, and this will take him to Frog Hollow, and then into Sulman Park. Again, just dab off the accelerator there, and then John Hicksman Vista into the left-hander, which is McPhillamy Park. Flat out as far as you can, brake just before the new side into Skyline, and this is corners 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17, which is also known as the S's. So here you want to get the power down as much as possible. You want to dab the brakes on the way in to get the car stable, ease off a little bit, then down hard into the braking point, into the dipper, corner 18. Get the power down as soon as possible, and then flat out past Forest Elbow on the left hand side. Keep the car wherever you want it. If you're not racing, you can either go right or left, but eventually you'll end up left. There's a little bit of a concrete, there's a little bit of tarmac on the left at the end, which you can take, and then you can take the right hander at full throttle into corner 20, and you're braking after the 100, between the 150 and the 100, braking hard left into the chase, which is corner 21, then the right hander, which is corner 22. Get the car to the right hand side, again just after the 100 metres you want to be braking hard and trying to take the apex as much as possible into the left hander, and that takes us on to the start finish straight. That was a lap with David Noble, and that lap returned a 2:08.97. So that was one with David. What we're going to do is we're going to jump on board with, let me have a look, Andrea Caiola. So Andrea's in the Aston Martin, and his best lap at the moment is a 2:04. I reckon quali is going to be a 2:02. So, I think we're going to see a couple of drivers in the 2:02s here. I think we're going to see Peter. I think we're going to see Jonathan. Mikhail, as you can see there, is looking really quick as well. We might even see Andrea, and I think we'll also see, the usual runs, your likes of your Lars, who's done a 2:03 as well. So I do think we're going to see a number of drivers in the 2:02s. Just to put that into perspective, that's over a second and a half, well, almost a second quicker than the Group 2 racers who qualified. I think a 2:03.9 the fastest, but it was typically 204s for the top 4 or 5 drivers. So these guys are usually a second to a second and a half faster. So we noticed
Jonathan Wood put up a 2:02.8 in the constructors race earlier this week.
He did,
so
and
he's going to give you an idea of what we're going to be looking at today.
Yeah, and he's absolutely flying. So Andre is still he's half a second up, so he's going for a 2:03.6 at the moment, but he's struggling a little bit.
Yeah, and so is Peter. He just hit the wall going down the mountain, so he will have to try to get a new lap.
Yeah,
try to make it better.
Jonathan was behind him, was able to get around him. I hope it doesn't hold him up any.
Yeah, just quickly to the chat. Hi Terry. Hi Peter. Nathali Dejan. Hi Willie. Hi Luke. Who else have we got? Hi Stefan. What's up? Hi Kai.
What's up?
Hi Mike.
Gentlemen.
Hi Terry. And hi Chris has joined us as well. I was going to say, his Christmas party. He's a bit too under the alcohol of influence to race. And Richard McKay. Hi, Richard.
He's on a liquid diet.
Hi, Mark, and hi, Frank. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. So Andrea did a 2:03.5. I'm going to jump back to David Gerard, who is in the PWS car. PWS preciouswashers.co.uk. PWS Clean Equipment, our sponsor of ACCTV. Really grateful for that opportunity to allow us to sponsor them. And without them, we couldn't continue to bring this great service that we offer to yourselves and to the rest of the world. If you haven't already, please click like. There's 19 viewers and only 6 likes. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button, share it, get it out to all your friends and family. Let's get us bigger out there. We're doing really well at the moment with our streams and our analytics. I've been looking at some of the YouTube analytics, and they're actually quite stunning for a group of our size.
Yeah, and by the way, we passed the 300 subscribers. We are 302 this week, which is very nice to see, and we need a lot more. So let's keep it up. And welcome Frank and Natalie Dejean. Hello there. So Jonathan Wood has posted a 2:02.9.
Yes.
And he's currently
around.
Yeah, and he has the pole position. He's been doing extremely well all week on this track, whatever the car. Let's see what
he has. He's really got it nailed, hasn't he?
Yeah, that BMW seems to have a little extra.
And there you go.
Put up a 2:02.5.
What a lap! Yeah. The guy's possessed.
It's funny. He comes on here and he does the commentary, and he talks about how we race in the afternoons, and he has a little insight from the different drivers. I'll give you a little insight on Jonathan. He is not a fan of this track. At least he wasn't at the beginning of the week when we first started. He was like, "Oh, I don't like this track. I don't, blah 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 blah." And each day he's gotten a little better and a little faster, and he's gotten to where he really likes it now. He learned something through the downhill section a couple of days ago, where he picked up a bunch of times. So,
I did.
Keep an eye on Jonathan.
Yeah, what he does in the downhill section is something I was already doing, and when he did it, and he realised he was gaining half a second if he get it right. That's the difference in going slow and going fast. Now, obviously, Jonathan's a much more skilled driver than me. He's probably got better equipment than me, so he's always going to be naturally faster. But the same logic applies. If you can pick up these little hints here and there. Oh, John Saunders just bouncing off track there. There's a lot of drivers struggling getting the laps in here. Really struggling. So we've now got 3 drivers in the 2:02s.
It's 16 degrees out there. You got to do 2 laps just to get the tires up.
You do indeed. That's something that it was quite interesting. I was having a chat with Peter this morning, and he was saying about the metrics on this track and the ambient temperature. Isn't suited for cars, isn't suited for the GT3s, and he said the window of the tyres, or words to this effect, I'm paraphrasing to what he said, the window on the tyres is so marginal at this temperature that it's so easy to run them too cold or too hot. I thought it was quite interesting. So I think there's a rule there: let's not make the ambient temperature too cold in the morning. Otherwise you can't get your tyres on. But on the flip side of the coin, all the drivers, you know, it's like a football on a football pitch. Well, they're all playing on the same blade of grass. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
The drivers are all on the same track with the same concrete,
That's
the same
right.
walls.
It's equal for everybody.
Yeah. So highly.
Yeah, one thing.
Oh, sorry. Just
One thing I just wanted to add. I know, Don, that you, Stephen Buckley, and Jonathan regularly race together, and as well you chat in Discord, and it's really, really nice to hear that. I know a few drivers share those kind of experiences while they practice during the week, and I think that's what makes the seniors so special.
Oh yeah,
And
from any night during the week, from probably 9 o'clock Eastern to about 2, 3 in the morning Eastern, because it's all across the United States time zones. There's probably somebody in there
that's right.
practicing and talking.
I know. I know, but what I like to see is how supportive you are of each other. That's very nice to see.
It's like osmosis. You just hanging out, you get faster. You pick up things. You ride along. You watch somebody. Watch their lines. Watch their breaking points, and you pick. And like you said, you pick up things. Oh, somebody else just went in the wall. Jonathan Wood just plowed into the wall.
yeah, this is not set in stone. This I think this race is going to be a surprise.
Yes, I told you from the get-go. I think we're gonna have big surprises this race.
And just one thing for Mikhail, because I know he's going to watch the stream later. On the car, I've got his livery, because last few times he's not seen his livery, but I've got his livery working. So that livery of his is really good, actually.
Nice.
With an eSeniors badge.
I think we're looking. We could possibly have would this be the third race where Chris Bourne and Jonathan Wood started side by side on the front row?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because it was Monday in the warm-up, and the Porsche Cup it was, wasn't it?
I thought it was.
Or was it the GT4? I thought the Porsche
could have been
Cup.
The constructors. They all start to run together after a while.
The constructors,
yeah,
you're right. You're right.
I know
actually.
I've seen Jonathan and Chris on the front row at least twice this week.
Mikhail's not going fast. Let's jump to the. I'm going to say to the back. It's Merch. We know Merch doesn't belong at the back, but he's 6/10 up. He's going for a 2:03 here. This will move him up quite a lot, and there you go. He's gone into 11th.
Nice. There you go.
But I do think if Merch gets a time in and he gets his tyres set, I think we'll see Merch going better. But one of the things I was saying with Peter this morning, that on a track like this with the time we've got it's set and the temperatures, it's not about car setup initially. It's about getting the tyres right. And then when you get the tyres right, play with the car setup and tweak. Because the tyres are so critical on here. You've got to be able to push. It's no good pushing for 30 minutes. You've got to be able to push for the hour. And if you've not got the tyres that last, you'll either burn them out or they'll just stay too cold. Either way, your back end will become loose in and out of the corners and you'll be all over the place. But I think it's going to be really interesting, this, just to see who can keep the tyres.
I just want to say, with about 6.5 minutes left in qualifying, if you're in the game, hit F12, because it's not often you see Mr. Kiola, Mr. Vanderbrandt, and the Wolf in 4th, 5th, and 6th in qualifying. That's a rare sight.
You know what's nice to see also is Lars is coming back into that Group 1. Something happened in the last few weeks for Lars, and he's driving that McLaren and he's getting amazing results. And I know
just popped up onto the front row.
Yeah, and I think next week, I know Spa is his favorite track. So I believe he will be someone to be dealt with.
Spa is my favorite track. Notice I didn't say best. I said favorite. So there is a difference.
Well, I had a good win in the pre-season, didn't I, Jeremy, at Spa? So
yes, absolutely. It's a rain.
It's a track I'm quite partial to. I will say, I mean, Chris Bourne really should have won it, but he got took out by a back marker, so I just carried on and passed him. And from my perspective, being a Group 2 racer and winning a race with all the Group 1 guys meant a lot to me. So that's why I qualified on pole. How again, I don't know. Alessandro Diamanti was behind me for about 5 laps, then he spun out, and then Chris was coming through the field, and I knew he was coming, but there was only Chris to worry about. And then Chris caught me and passed me. I didn't race him because I know the type of guy he is. Oh, Chris is just at the wall, big style there.
No.
Yeah, he's going to damage that car. And then he passed me, and then I think he hit a car at the end of the straight, the fast straight, and it spun him, and obviously that allowed me to get back in front then. So it's a track I remember, a track I enjoy, and I've got a good setup for that car for that track in the Astons, so I'll just be wheeling that out. I know it's going to be different now with the new setups, but the principles are the same.
I love Spa. It's one of the great old tracks, but it's the track where if you've got an issue with whether it's you or your setup or your car, it's going to get exposed, and there's nowhere to hide. And it's not a track where there's 1 or 2 places to pass. There's multiple opportunities to pass at Spa.
Oh, so there is.
If you're in a faster car, you can get around at Spa. But if you're in a slower car, you can't hold people back. You know, it's just a great track, and it's got just a little bit of everything. You know.
We got
gentlemen. Where is Derek Bird? He's not part of the race today.
No, he's not
in the server.
No, he mustn't be able to make it.
Good eye, Jeremy. Yep, not even connected.
Huh? That's very strange.
Okay. So Peter's going for. He was on for a 2:02.8, but now he's lost all his time. So Peter's got a couple of laps to get a good lap in here. Lars is going quicker. Jump on board with Lars because Lars is looking like he might take pole here from Jonathan. Just back to the chat briefly. Yeah, Stefan's spot on there. The approach to the downhill section is critical and keeping the car moving without a doubt. Terry T, who I managed to pass yesterday, said the new model tyres died yesterday after 50 minutes. And I think that was pretty obvious, Terry, with the speed I caught you. I think they all said, you know, the speed at which I caught you was it was nearly over a second a lap. So they must have just fell off the cliff. And you're not very happy about Spa. Steve Howells, yes, you need to put your lights on, Terry. So Lars has lost his time in the downhill section as well. So I'd say I actually thought earlier on today we might actually see a 2:01, but we're not.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing, a low 2:02 or a high 2:01.
Yeah.
But the usual suspects are, you know, fourth and back.
Carlos was 3/10 up, and he's now lost it all. So he's 3/10, and he's brinking on the 1/10 of a second a lap. Being
Jonathan
up here.
Wood just spun out coming down the mountain.
Yeah, it is going to be a race of patience. I think someone said that yesterday on the stream yesterday. It's all about patience, this track, and not trying to push the car. And if you don't push the car and you can manage it through the top section, the rest of it's a doddle. It's that top section that'll kill you. Now, yeah, Carlo's 2/10 up now, so this is going to move Carlo possibly up to 4th, but Peter is going faster. Peter wants to start that front row. Oh, and Carlo's off. Carlo went off.
Oh no.
The Lars is 2/10 up. Peter's 2/10 up. Come on, camera. There you go.
Peter's got this lap and one more.
So Peter's looking at a 2:02.9 here. That's not the front row, but it's certainly the second row. If he can gain another 10th, another couple of tenths, which Peter might do on his next outing, I mean, yeah, he's going to get another lap in, so his timing's spot on here.
How's McHale doing in 5th? This is going to be his last lap. He won't get back in time to start another one.
So Peter's gone 3rd with a 2:02.7.
Okay.
So he's looking. He's only now 2/10 off that pole position, and he's going to get a toe off Neil. He's getting a toe. He wants a bit of a toe, does he, off Neil? Mm-hmm. And therefore he's really going for this toe, and he's took the toe. That's brilliant. I will have what I can. He's saying. So he's. I'm just looking at his time. That did give him a little bit of gain. We're only talking hundredths of a second there. So Mikhail is 4/10 up.
Nice.
So Mikhail is looking. I'm just going to switch to Mikhail. I'll switch back to Peter in a minute because Mikhail's further down the track. Half a second, Mikhail. So he's going for a 2:02.7 here. He's lost a 10th there. Coming up. He's 2/10, so he's a 2:02.9. That's another driver in the 2:02s, and he's on 5th place.
Nice.
So Peter, let's go back to Peter. Peter's still up, but only slightly.
And you've got Andrea 2 cars behind him.
Now Peter, with his time as it is, with this will put him in 2nd place.
Spicy.
If I'm not mistaken.
How's Andrea doing behind him?
Andrea's not gaining at all.
Okay. All right.
He's in the
Let's
red.
keep an eye on Peter then.
So Peter's 1/10 up. So but he's 1/10 and a bit up. And that and a bit up is going to give him 2nd place at the moment.
Wow.
Can he gain anything more? I don't think he's going to get pole. But he's in a really good situation here to get 2nd place on the grid. And we'll have Jonathan and Peter. So he's still up. He's just starting to lose the time. He doesn't want to lose anymore. He needs to get this good exit here. Oh, that's it. It's 2/10. And that should push him right up to 2nd place. And there it is. Peter, on his last lap, claims that 2nd place and goes on the front row of the grid. We're back shortly.
Yesterday.
Okay, so back to the viewing. We've got the grid, bit of a grid walk, and you can see there in pole position is Jonathan Wood in the BMW, closely followed by Peter Wolfslaner in the Bentley, and then we've got Lars Eklund in the McLaren, Chris Bourne in the Lexus, Mikhail Hoberg in the BMW, and we've got Andrea Caiola in the Aston Martin, Carlo Van Brabant in the Bentley, John Saunders in the Ferrari. And the 2 PWS cars match perfectly. David Gerrard and Mark Rogers in the green. We've then got Nelson Abranhoser in the Aston Martin. And we've got Neil Bywater in the Ferrari. We've got Mirch Paunov in the Aston Martin. And Chris Baker in the Sega Aston Martin. Then got 2 Bentleys on the grid of Rhys Wiggin and Craig Holmes. We then have the Lexus of Eric Dont and the Aston of David Noble. We then have the Mercedes of Dimitri Stathis, the Ferrari of Hugh Morris, and then Jeremy's car will go to the pits. So that's the runners and riders of this race. We'll wait for the magical 30-second marker. Not going to say who's going to win this because this is going to be a race of patience and keeping it on track. You'd always suggest it's the usual suspects, but I'm really not sure about this. So
yeah, well, I'm a little worried by Jonathan's message. No, Mr. Nice Guy today.
Yeah.
I hope he's gonna. I hope take no prisoners. I hope he's gonna behave.
Back to the chat. We've got a Benjamin Frederick Shaw who's come on. Johnny, don't know who you are, Ben. Nice for you to join us. Click like and subscribe. We've got Haiwan. Superb commentator, Mr. Juan himself. We've also got Nico Camden. So Jonathan's obviously back on the streets today, getting people to come and join him. So again, Nico, click on that like button and subscribe. We've got Nikos has joined us here as well. Who else have we got? I think I've covered everybody there.
He's woken up the neighbors and called all his friends. He's got everybody.
I think that's exactly what he's done. He's been knocking up and down the street. I thought he was on the beach this morning handing little cards out with the stream details on.
There you go. Hyperlink.
Watch it later or else. So you can see
Peter is taking the lead right there.
Yep, and that's it. We've gone green.
Okay.
So no Mr. Nice Guy, eh? And he lets him go for a walk.
I guess he's taking one prisoner because he.
Oh my God!
He just let him go.
He just took the lead out of him.
And everyone's got through corner 1. Andrea Keola's past Chris Bourne. And they're trying to gang up on Jonathan Wood. Sorry, Lars Eklund past Chris Bourne. My apologies. Because Andrea's behind. And now they've all got back into position again.
They are very close going up
They
the
are
mountain.
very close. This
Very
is where...
close.
Oh, there's contact. Carlo and John Saunders have made contact. So that's the Bentley and the Ferrari. But they're both running. It was just a love tap. You know,
Looks
touching
good.
doors. I'm here. Everyone's still going, still surviving. Let's just jump back towards the back of the grid. And at the moment, everyone appears to be getting over the mountaintop really, really well. So, wow. Great start for everybody there. With the exception of a little tap, you know, it is a clean lap at the moment. And are we going to see what I would class as an incident-free race? This is really what we could aim to achieve because, you know, think about it, guys. This is one of the hardest tracks you're likely to race on for numerous reasons.
That's right.
And to not have car-on-car incidents on this track.
Whoop. Neil Bywater.
Yeah. Oh, that's a biggie. Yeah. That's a biggie. Yep. Let's go back. Yep. Now, is that a car spinning out? No, I've just gone to the replay.
Still happening.
That's 5 cars affected.
Chris Baker is in the pits.
5 cars affected.
I noticed Neil coming down the hill. He brushed the wall on the left-hand side.
So Neil's hit the wall there. Yeah, so...
set him up, yeah.
Oh, that was Carlo going up the inside, was it? Carlo's gone up the inside, caused them both to go out. And then what you end up with...
at the chase
currently. Yeah, you've end up with the concertina effect, where all the cars... Oh dear, that's a bit of a disaster, that. So we've only ended up with 1 car pitted, and that was the car that got totaled sideways on. So that's certainly one for the stewards to look at. And Reese Wiggins off. He's took one of the signs out because there's plastic, there's polystyrene all over the place. And now there was no one else involved. Murch has made a pass on an Eric Dont, and Eric
Murch
is now
went off at the chase and then came back on and has since passed Eric.
Yeah, and Hugh's now looking at Eric as well. So Hugh in the Ferrari, he's looking at Eric Dont to see if he can gain on this. Now let's just talk about Hugh. I've never really chatted to Hugh really. I don't think he could race on a Saturday, so we put him into the Sunday group. He was too fast for Group 3. And you know, let's give credit to where credit's due. He probably feels he's out of his depth, but I think there's a positive to this. You've got someone who's probably never raced with guys this fast before, but he's turned up every week and he's put his best efforts in. And you know what? I don't think the guy's ever finished last. And that is such a learning.
He's had some really good results. Yeah. And he hasn't lost his great sense of humor.
Yeah, so. and I think it's really good the fact that he must have got so much experience from this that if he does go into Group 2, which is highly probable if he can race that day, I think we'll see Hugh sat there battling with the top guys in Group 2.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's learned so much.
Of the field.
Yeah, he's learned so much by being in this group. And yeah, I mean, he made a comment to me in the chat before. He said, "Who's the guy who's picked worst nightmare for Spa? You know, who's the devil?" And I said, "That'll be me."
Yeah.
And he followed it with expletives. But the point is, you know, if you're racing with these group of guys, you learn so much from them. And he's probably now going to be a front runner in Group 2, which all of a sudden makes you feel so much better.
And the experience that he learned here in Group 1 really is going to carry over next year. Make it a lot
without
better.
a shadow of a doubt. Yep. So back to...
Interesting, I just noticed the 100 board is gone going into the chase.
I'll tell you, some of them boards, if the wrong boards go, it's a nightmare. That the chase, the 150 and the 100, if that's gone, you've lost all your braking zone positions. So I always try to find somewhere that isn't related to a board. just in case.
Yeah, you want to try and find something permanent.
So just back to the chat. It is Mr. Queen Juan. Yes, he's joined me, as has Jeremy. Who else have we got? Jonathan can't start, worth a poop. Nico Camden saying penalty. We do issue penalties, Nico, on lap 1 if it's a race-ruining incident. So just to explain what that means, Nico, is if you cause an incident that you were the guilty party and you cause a player to lose multiple positions, you'll get a 10-place penalty from your finish position. If you do wait and almost try to equalise it, you will only get a 5th-place position. Now, if you finish at the back, you get a table penalty instead, because obviously you can't penalise someone for finishing last and say, well, you've got no positions to lose. So we apply what's called a table penalty. So they still lose points regardless. So hopefully that makes it clear for you, Nico. Let's have a look at Ben saying calculated tactics. Jonathan knows
coming down the hill.
Yeah, Jonathan knows that Bentley will fail towards the end. I will say, Stefan, I'll back that up with... I won't back that up. I'll say it's Peter behind the wheel. So that's probably the only person in a car where nothing fades at the end. And that guy's still doing top laps towards the end of the race. So you might be right, and I'll stand corrected, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah, we will see, because I tell you, there is a fierce battle going between Jonathan Wood, Lars, Chris Bourne, Andrea Caiola is even in the game there. So those guys are applying pressure to each other, and that's gonna play on this circuit.
A couple of comments there. Luke, we did it better, and Terry T saying we did a better job, Mark. You know, as referring to the Group 2 race there, the fact that we got off the start, you know, we didn't have any incidents in Group 2. And look at Murch here. Murch is really putting pressure on Craig. He's got the inside line. It's all about braking. Oh, we've had a bit of a run wide there. That I think that is. I'm trying to work out. That's Reese Wiggins, although it looks like he's out of position. Yeah, that must have been Reese Wiggins. Reese Wiggins, that? Yeah, it must have been Reese Wiggins, but he's way out of position. So, yeah, he's a lap down. Reese Wiggins must have lost. Oh, he's been to the pits, Reese, actually. I can see he's been to the pits, so Reese is a lap down.
Reese, David and Chris Baker.
Yeah, they have indeed the quickest of them. So I think Murch is looking racy now. So Murch will abide his time here, and I think he'll pick his place on the Conrod if he can. But I will say the Aston and the Bentley on the Conrod, they're so matched. It's very hard to pass. I mean, I only got past Terry Yisti because he had damage, I believe. And I can tell by how quick I passed him. That's why I assumed he had damage. And I got a better drive out the last corner. Other than that, I don't think I would have passed him. Nikos, Don is in the booth. Yeah, Don is in the house. Hi, Peter. Welcome to stream. Thanks for watching. Don't forget,
Peter.
Like and subscribe. Yeah, gutted for you, Peter, yesterday. I mean, obviously had a bit of an incident early on, but to run out of fuel at the end, I really felt for you. I really felt for you. 2 litres short. God.
After putting up with this track for an hour, to run out of gas.
That's
yeah, but at the same time, I don't understand that, because it's no harm. There's no harm in overfilling a car by 15 liters. Nothing's gonna happen.
So
nothing's gonna happen to you during the race. It's better to run more fuel than less fuel.
I ran the Aston with 110 litres yesterday. I'm finished with 2 laps spare. I prefer to do that just in case.
Yeah, 2 laps is good. I mean, you don't want to take an extra 10 or 15 liters of fuel for a field trip for an hour for no apparent reason.
No, you don't. You don't. But
2 laps is usually enough.
Yeah.
You know?
So we can see Murch got...
Your worst case scenario, if the leader is about to lap you and just crosses the start-finish line with a second left, and so you have to do 2 laps.
Yeah.
So, well, but Don,
you should be fine.
You know what I've noticed? I drive better with a heavier car. So the more fuel I have, the better I drive.
I know a lot of Porsche drivers like that. They'll go out and because of the balance in the car, they'll qualify with a lot more fuel in the car. You know.
So I've just switched to Lars. Lars is now putting pressure on Jonathan. So it'll be interesting where this transpires. Back to the chat. Sorry.
I believe Lars is definitely podium material today.
Yeah, I agree.
He has an amazing control of that McLaren. Actually, he's the only McLaren driver.
Yeah.
Doing really well with it.
So, yeah, Stefan, you're right. Fade, not fail. You're perfectly correct. I think I might have said the word fail, so my apologies for that. Hi, Terry Howard. Hi, Robert. Welcome to the stream. Don't forget, click like and subscribe.
Yes, Stefan.
If you haven't done.
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, Stefan, thank you for asking. I am feeling much better today. Thank you.
We've got Andy, and Andy's joined us. Hi, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Welcome to the chaos. We've got 28 watching, 17 likes. Come on, hit that like button. It makes a massive difference on.
Ring that bell.
It does. It makes massive difference on the analytics. It really does.
In the meantime, Peter managed to pull a 4-second lead.
Yeah.
In 5 laps. That's Peter as usual. He was always able to do that on either track he's racing.
Quite interesting this. So Craig Holmes, he's made a few comments that I think he's struggling with this track, or he doesn't like this track one way or the other. David Gerard's pitted. So David Gerard's pitted for some reason.
He's in the pits.
I don't see any damage. Oh yeah, is that his bonnet damaged? His bonnet's up, isn't it? Yeah, I think his bonnet's up. So let me just come.
He's pulling in now.
Yeah, so he's obviously give up because he's dropped a load of places. That's one of the PWS cars, our sponsors of ACC TV. Yeah, so let's carry on back to where we are. So Chris is still trying to catch Lars, and Lars is still trying to catch Jonathan. This is where the battle is. But Craig was saying, I think, in the chat, or he's saying about how difficult he's finding this track. Oh, and Lars has made a mistake. Oh, Chris Bourne's hit the wall. Chris Bourne put his anchors on to defend himself, and he's gone off.
Yeah, he was probably distracted by Lars losing the car in front.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I said about when I saw Terry hit the wall yesterday. I back dried out, and I know Juan said on the stream, it looks like I've made a mistake. I saw him hit it, and I just hit the anchors and thought, I don't know where he's going to be on the track, so I waited. And sometimes if you don't wait, you can't react quick enough, and you can see he got his car sideways coming in, and it completely lost his balance, and he hit the wall. Now, I'm not too sure what damage he's got. His bonnet's not affected, so it might just be wing panel damage. I think it will have said left-hand side received damage, but yeah, certainly interesting, that one.
I believe Chris was his car was taxed by that hitting the wall. I know Lars just like went across a patch of grass, so he had no damage whatsoever. But hitting the wall, you don't get away with that, do you?
No, I think Lars hit the wall as well, Jeremy. He tapped the wall, so you can see there from.
Did he?
Yeah, he tapped the wall, so you can see there.
I didn't see him.
Yeah, he just clipped it, so you can see there Chris is steering straight. So I do think he's got away with that, and you can see Lars is just carrying on.
I don't see a scratch on his car, but
I'm sure as he come across the grass, he caught the corner of the wall as he went down the hill.
I see.
And I think that's what upset. Chris Bourne. Neil Bywater's off. So Neil Bywater's hit the.
Carlo Van Brabant is in the pits. Carlo's in the pits.
Yeah.
Carlo's in the pits.
Yeah, Carlo's in the pits, and Lars is putting a lot of pressure on Jonathan here. So Lars, if he can get a good run out of the dipper as he comes through the S's here, coming through, he's got that corner right this time. He's coming through the S's. He's got the left-hander. Now the right-hander where you put your power down, which leads us down into the left-hander. Then the right-hander of the dipper, braking hard into the dipper. Yeah, you can see there Jonathan's got that nailed. Lars has kept up with him, and we've now got I think that's Andrea now joining the party.
Yes, it is.
And
yeah, he got by Chris.
Yeah, so Andrea's looking quick actually. He's looking like he's catching Lars there very, very quickly. So he must have got a really good drive out. Don't think he's close enough to make the pass as they come through the end of the Conrod now. Come through the little.
That's not a place to overtake.
Oh!
It's not a place to overtake.
No, he's gone for the dive there. No. He's gone for the dive there. Lars has got the inside line. I mean, he doesn't really want to. Oh, Chris is going really quick then. I mean, he got away with that one then. I think it's fair to say, Andrea. He really got away with that one. That could have gone wrong, and that could have been a penalty. The fact that he let Lars keep the position was his saving grace, I think, on that one. But I said he was looking quick in that Aston coming down that straight. I didn't think he'd go for the dive, to be honest.
No, it was quite surprising. I don't know what he expected, but
so
maybe he saw an opportunity we didn't. But
so this is Eric Dont, and that's Reese Wiggin. Reese Wiggin isn't racing for position, so Reese Wiggin needs to get past Eric and Craig and avoid the blue flags. Otherwise, he's just going to be jumping backwards and forwards all the time. So Neil Bywater's now in the pits. So,
for the second time.
The drivers are really struggling. Don't forget though, Neil's had problems. Oh, Neil's coming out now. Neil's had technical problems with his computer recently, hasn't he, with his headset going?
He was directly in front of Peter. He was going to be the first car Peter was going to pit on or pass on the track for put a lap down, and he pitted coming down this last lap. So
I think we've still got a lot of offs to go yet. A lot of offs. Yeah. So we've got this battle with Eric, who's putting pressure on Craig. As I say, Craig was struggling on this track, I think he said, and you can see that he is struggling a little bit, and he seems to be getting caught, and he looks like he's a bit of a cork now, actually.
So Andrea is really right behind Lars right now.
Hugh Morris has hit the wall. Hugh Morris has hit the wall. Oh, he looks like, I think his steering's gone. Let me see if his steering's gone. Oh dear, that doesn't look healthy. Oh, he doesn't want to be doing that over the top. He really doesn't want to be doing that. Oh, he's just going to keep...
Andrea is doing the same thing he did before, except that he lost his car again.
And he's lost the place. Oh, got Eric.
And Chris Bourne is trying to bank on that as well.
Oh, and Eric Dunt's getting himself stuck. Oh, he's gone to the pits. Yeah, Chris Bourne's capitalised on it.
Yeah, Chris has had enough. He's told those two to figure it out amongst themselves.
Andrea is very aggressive here.
So you can see there, Andrea absolutely overshoots it, loses 2 places, and that instability allows Chris to go down the outside. But still good racing between the pair of them. Absolute mutual respect there. Chris gives him the space. Lars gives Chris the space, but Chris gets the right drive out because his car's straighter, quicker. So, yeah, I think...
I tell you, with 42 minutes to go, I'm afraid this is not going to end up peacefully.
No, I think we're going to see... and Andrea's hit the wall.
Yes,
he's just brushed the wall. So, yeah, I think... I'm not a betting man, but I think Andrea's going to take himself out of this race. I think he's going to make a mistake and hit something because he's pushing and pushing and pushing.
Guys are really driving to the limit. It's absolutely incredible to see.
It's safe to say that...
Whoa, Lars! Lars is off!
There goes Lars.
Lars just hit the wall.
So Lars made a mistake. Second time through that complex. And the S's. Lars has made a mistake and he's now coming down to the dipper, where he's lost a place to Andrea. Now that does mean Andrea has now got a free run on Chris Bourne. So, but it also means the pressure's now been put on behind, because we have Mikhail, John Saunders and Mark Rogers all on the Conrad Straight catching up Lars. Now again, has Lars damaged his car?
He probably did.
I'm just looking at the front of it there. It looks a bit cockeyed at the front. The right hand side looks up more as if he's damaged the left wing. So yeah, interesting what's going to happen here. And John Saunders is really putting pressure on Mikhail now. And Peter's just done a 2:03.6 in race trim.
He's pulled away.
10 seconds.
The 7 or so behind him are all bunched up.
He's just racing himself, isn't he?
So he is 10 seconds ahead.
Quickly back to the chat. Sorry guys, I'm not coming to the chat much, but wow, there's a lot going on. Really a lot going on. Yeah, so Nikos was saying about Chris has only got damage to the side. Let me see what else. Paul, hi Paul. Paul Moore. Luke saying Group 4 behaviour. This is better than a not to be net. Come on, Luke. I'm having that.
Eric Dunt and Hugh Morris are in the pits.
Yeah, Hugh had a mistake. Remember, his steering wheel was to one side.
Yeah. And
his car was looking pretty battered.
He's going to be there for a while.
Yeah. Well, let's just jump on board with Mark Rogers for a little bit. For 2 reasons. First of all, he's chasing these 2 in front, but he's also in a PWS sponsored car. PWS, preciouswashers.co.uk. Our sponsors, proud sponsors of our ACC TV, and giving us the ability to stream this service. So that's PWS Clean Equipment. Visit the website if you're after anything, certainly in the UK. And Darren, who runs it, I'm sure will give you a suitable discount. Thank you. Right. He's catching up here, Mark. I'm sure he is, because the 2 guys in front aren't pulling away. And I'm looking at the splits. Pretty similar. Ooh, he's just got a bit, I think he got a bit under braking there. His car just seemed to, oh, Saunders hits the wall. Now, he got lucky there, because if you hit the wall in the wrong place, it bounces you to the left. Now, look at that trail of cars in front. Wow. Now, and they can't be the cars in front. They are. They're all the same train, starting with Andrea Caiola.
Yeah.
This is definitely one of these. Mistake, and it's game over, innit?
I was gonna say, you got Peters pulled away from everybody, and then everybody else from like second back to eighth is all bunched together.
Yeah.
And the rest of the field's all spread out.
Ooh, John Saunders then got ridden the curb a lot, really raised his Ferrari at the back end. He will have lost some traction
don't
there.
like curbs like that.
No, they don't. I mean, he really ridden it, didn't he? That back end took off.
He thought he was in a Bentley for a second.
Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah. So, yeah, Mark Rogers is definitely gaining here. I think this is where we're going to... John Saunders just going defensive, moving the car to the left, but he's not going to give a gap for Mark to pull up the inside. Are we going to see that one? Are we going to see Rogers battle him and then get the power on? So both coming up there okay as they come up through the mountain section. Finns Mountain that, and they're coming through the Frog Hollow, so they're coming through that section now, and then they're coming into McPhillamy Park, the left-hander, where the lee's off, as you can hear the bit of easing off under the bridge. It's the left-hander now, sorry. As they come down, the lee's off as they go under the bridge, just to get the traction back on. There's the bridge. You can see Mark Rogers is very quick coming into there and then just backs off a little bit. Saunders gets the power down really well as he's going through the S's. Braking hard into the Big Dipper. Both drivers getting a good run in the Big Dipper. Both managing to avoid the wall, and Saunders gets a really good run there. So that's a really good, an insight into watching the driver and what they see behind them. But I do think the Aston appears to be quite quick. Actually, he's caught the Ferrari up well here. He's not got the pace to pass, but you can see he's definitely closed the gap. If you can get that drive out the corner and have a closer angle. On the braking, the Aston's brilliant as well. How much he gained on the braking there. And Eric Dont's off. He's off again. Oh, he's back. Oh, don't hit the wall. Is there anyone coming? No, there's no one coming. He's got car 10 catching up. So that's the second incident Eric's had, spinning the car through the top. So, yeah, I think he might have damage there. He seemed to spin it in a really bizarre... Oh, he's done it again. What's going on? Oh, he's gone to the pits. He's gone to the pits. He has gone to the pits. That was really bizarre because he seemed to put the power down and the car just went straight. Now, unless his steering rack was completely shot. Yeah, that was really, really bizarre, that one. Hi, sir. Welcome to the stream.
So something interesting is happening here. Jonathan managed to shave a full second between him and Peter. And we are getting through the midpoint of the race. Let's see if this can turn into something.
Peter's got a lap car in front of him, going over the top of the mountain right now.
Yeah, one of the PWS cars. Hughes joined the stream, just to let you know. He's retired because he clipped the wall, and as we could see, his car was pretty messed up.
Hello, you.
If he thinks it was two times 30-minute racing, he'd have stuck it out. It's just getting in the way 45 minutes. I know where you're coming from there, Hugh. It'd be great if all the races are easy, but we do try to spice it up a little bit to, I can't say give it a sense of realism, because obviously it's virtual racing, but just to rather than keep the monotony of 40-minute races here and there and everywhere, we do try and mix it up a little bit to make it a bit more adventurous. And I think this track is one of them tracks that certainly has that word adventure in it, because you don't know where you're going to end up when you start.
It's a bad idea in the wrong spot.
Yeah, once you've had a problem, it's a bit of an issue, isn't it? You can see now the PWS car's letting Peter go. Great respect for the blue flags. Great respect for the leader. Peter's got an easy pass there. He's not going to have to struggle. And we've got Big Natty. Hi, James. Welcome to the stream. Peter's 10 seconds clear. That's pretty phenomenal. The only battle we've really got is these guys. We've got Andrea closing in on Chris, but the gap's about a second. Now, we have seen Andrea make a mistake. We've seen Chris hit the wall. And we've seen Lars hit the wall, who's behind. Lars lost 2 places before as a result of this contact. We've seen Andrea make a couple of dives up the inside. Chris's car looked a bit sideways there, but he did keep it going. Lars is definitely looking a little bit quicker here. So Lars will be looking to keep it quick through there. Oh, Chris is very close to the wall again there. I know we're looking at it from Lars's car, but you can see just how quick he's pushing there into the corners. And you can actually hear Andrea just lift off the accelerator because he knew he was going to the right and didn't want to see that wall. And coming through the S's now really well. Still managing to get round. Just keeping the car on track. Coming into the dipper. Can Andrea get the good run? He's gone for the wide approach to get the power down coming out, but I think he went too deep. You can see there he just lost power against Chris. Chris had a better line in, and therefore had a better line out. It looked like Andrea was going wide to get the power down, but I think in going wide he went too deep as well, which means he had to keep his foot on the brake a little bit longer, and that allowed...
Mark Rogers just got around John Saunders.
Yeah. So let's just
and
go to
don't
that.
look now, Nelson has joined the party.
I was just about to say Nelson's hot on the tail there as well.
No, it's now back to 9th place
30
in this pack.
Yeah, so 33 minutes left to go. Now, are we seeing the Ferrari start to struggle? And we've seen John have contact with the wall. We've also seen him ride the curbs and really launch the Ferrari. Now, is it a possibility that riding the curbs that much on this track with low pressures could cause you a low pressure warning? Because if you've not got the heat in the tyres, if you hit the curb, I should imagine that sort of curb. I know they're not severe here, but do you think that's enough to give you a low pressure warning?
It could.
And is that why?
Especially being a low temp, because like you alluded to earlier, there's some issues with it being early in the morning and the temperatures being low. That starting off, I know in my car I could not get the front 2 tires above 75. If I closed the ducts to put some more heat in, then within about 10 laps, my brakes would start overheating. So that was counterproductive. So it was either cold tires or overheating brakes, and can't race with overheating brakes, so I had to go with the cold tires.
And let me guess where your brakes overheated, the Big Dipper or the Dipper. as you hit,
it was and at the bottom, Hell Corner and the last turn as well too, and through the chase. All the heavy braking stuff. It's just you didn't have enough time for it to cool back off afterwards.
Right, I had my
ducts
quite open actually, believe it or not. And I had my tyre pressure set to adjust, so I was quite fortunate. As I said, I could carry on pushing at the end. I think Terry's just mentioned in the chat actually. I don't think Peter is having to push like I did when I was chasing him. But Peter doesn't need to push. He's out on his own really. And I think Terry, when you realised I was catching you, your instinct is you're gonna have to go quicker. But if your tyres are starting to go off, there's an element of risk in there. And I was fair enough. I was right up your jacksie at one point, but I always thought to myself, is he going to hit the wall? Now, when you did hit the wall, I hit my anchors so I didn't run into you, and I wanted to see where you'd come out. That's why I didn't pass you initially. Reese Wiggins has gone off. Oh, Reese has spun it. He's obviously hit the curb into McPhillamy Park, and he's called it a day. He's gone to the pits. So Andrea's going to get Chris here. Chris has had a bad exit. Now Chris is flashing him. So has something gone on we've not seen, because Chris is letting go there? Or has Chris just realised Andrea's faster, and rather than having the risk of Andrea going for a dive, he's thought, you know what, I don't want to be part of it, I'll let it go. The lap 1 incident, Hugh, the one we saw at the top of the hill, is that what you're on about? Yeah, coming down the end. I don't think you didn't cause it. It was caused by a Bentley going up the inside of another car. So you were just a bystander, and there was a lot of bystanders in there. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that, Hugh. Incidents like that where it's multi-car, it'll always go back to the first car that causes the incident. And unless you carried on with your foot to the floor while there's other cars on track, usually the incident stops with the car that caused it. So that will be investigated as a Lot 1 incident anyway.
And we just passed halfway.
So I.
Nikos is just thanks for that, Nikos. He just said I shared my setup with two guys, Melvin, who's not in the stream, and Nikos, and he said he used my setup on Friday. No tyre pressure and temp issues at all. I'm not a professor, Nikos. I just practiced and practiced and practiced. My setups are better than Coach Dave. Cheers for that. Melvin. To be fair though, Melvin finished 5th. I think that's Melvin's highest finish. And when he took my car, he said it's really stable. But he had a couple of comments to me afterwards. He said the back end's a bit loose coming down the dipper. So I told him to make a couple of changes, and I don't know if he made them changes. And if them changes worked, that'll have suited his style of driving. But that wasn't my style of driving. So obviously a setup's not perfect for everybody. You've got little tweaks to make. But yeah, from a tyre temp perspective, I think the setup was pretty much nailed on. Cheers for that, Nikos. Anyway, it's really nice of you to say that, because normally you just race in the setup and nothing gets said about it.
Yeah, Melvin had a great race yesterday. I know he had Paul Moore glued to the rear end of that Aston for 3/4 of that race.
No, I'm just saying, just looking at Nikos's chat, so there's nothing going on here. Let's jump back to Nelson. So Nikos is saying, I had no tyre pressure issues at all, Nikos. So I had my tyres set up to run at a certain pressure for the whole race. And when I finished the race, my tyre pressures were as I started with them. That's why I could push towards the end, because my tyres were brilliant. And as the fuel come off, my car was getting lighter and lighter and lighter. So I think in the last 5 laps, I think I did 2 204s, a 204.6 and a 204.5, and that was because the tyres had let me push. It's gone a little bit quiet now.
Yeah.
I mean, Nelson's the only guy. We've got Lars as well. Lars is still putting pressure on Chris, but we've got Nelson who's putting pressure on John Saunders. We've seen John Saunders struggled a little bit. In fact, Nelson's gaining here. I think we might see the Aston take another position, because the Ferrari does look like it's having a bit of a problem. The individual lap times. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll get rid of the Delta. And I'll put the lap times in. There you go. Welcome, Danny, by the way. Thanks for joining. Don't forget, hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe. And a bit of a thank you to PWS, our sponsors. PWS Clean Equipment, preciouswashers.co.uk. As you can see, the first car in the PWS livery. If you're looking for clean equipment, visit these guys. Great for them to sponsor us and sponsor the ACC TV stream. That allows us to carry on delivering this service to you and the rest of the world. So big shout out to PWS. Thanks, guys. See now, the Ferrari's gaining on Mark Rogers. So Mark Rogers already passed John Saunders. So I'm just wondering whether John Saunders' tyres just blipped a little bit and he's had to run a couple of laps to get them back under temperatures. As I say, that dipper, I call it the big dipper, and Nelson's just gone wide. That dipper can heat your tyres, certainly the right front. And if your setup isn't right, that right front tyre will start burning and will become very, very slippy. And you have to find that you have to ease off for a couple of laps to get it back to its regulated temperature again. That's what I found in the Aston when I was doing my testing. Once you've got it right, you've got your brake duct set to the right temperature and so on, you're pretty alright to push all the time then.
I found early on in the week I was having the left front in that corner. Oh, John Saunders just hit the wall again. My left front was actually locking and flat spotting. So,
well, funny you should say that, Don, actually, because I was running with the ABS of 3 all week in testing, and I felt the car coming down the dipper. I could feel it locking, ever so slightly, and it just didn't feel right. So, oh God, Nelson then nearly went straight into the wall. Yep. Wow. Yeah. And I felt it. So what I did was I thought, you know what, I'm going to run it at 4. So still had me qualifying at 3, but I had my race car set at 4. And I think that changing it to 4 prolonged my tyres as well.
I won't tell you what I had mine cranked up to, because it wasn't 4. Well, I know the Ferrari's different from the Aston, but yeah, it was a much higher. So.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it just gives you a better braking, but I'd realised that 3 was too much for the car, and it was putting a lot of pressure on it, and I could feel it and hear it brake locking up. So I thought, no, I'm going to dial it back a little bit, and it made the car much, much better coming out of the likes of the dipper. So, I got lucky with that tweak, I must admit, but it was a tweak that I made thinking, okay, that might be a solution. And the reason why I made that tweak was because Peter mentioned something in the chat in Discord the other day about your tyre pressures and what to do on this track, and one of them is just dial your ABS back, I think he said. So I took note of that, and obviously the guy knows what he's talking about. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. I overthought it earlier one day this week and was actually making ABS changes going into that corner and then changing it back for the rest of the track, and made like a 2-up change for that corner alone.
Yeah.
And made the change a couple of times and forgot to change it back down, and found out that it's like a dial, but it's like an old TV dial that when you get to the top of the dial, it doesn't stop. It just goes back over to the beginning. In between is a no ABS setting. So I went into that corner one time with no ABS and completely locked it up and ruined those tires and decided, okay, I'm just going to find a number that works and stick with it for the whole track.
It's very dangerous. It's dangerous. No, he was very close. It's dangerous playing with so much within a race. I try not to touch anything. If it's a night race and the pressures drop, I might change the ABS or the traction control to accommodate, but that's all I do.
Talking about car setups, Chris Bourne told me earlier this week he uses the same setup since the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Every track.
Yeah.
Every track. GT4, Porsche Cup, GT3.
Doesn't matter. Just put the setup in. It's Chris's number 1A setup.
Yeah.
Just run it.
My setup. So we've got Bolton Landenscouse has joined. Hi Bolton, welcome. You're obviously supporting Nelson. He's, as you can see, he's currently running in 9th and he's behind John Saunders. He has been putting pressure on John Saunders. John Saunders has made a couple of mistakes and he has been cutting the curbs quite a lot, which has caused his car to lose a bit of traction. I do think if he gets the right drive out of the corner, we will see Nelson pass John Saunders, because we've already seen one of the Astons, and that's the Aston of Mark Rogers, make the pass. It just seems to have pulled a little bit of a gap here now, John Saunders. I noticed that Nelson made a mistake coming out the dipper. It looked like he got the power on too early and started to over-rotate the car.
Just came very, very wide out of that turn there and lost valuable time.
Yeah, so I don't know whether if he's been pushing too much, 20 minutes to go, are we getting to the point where the tyres are starting to scream? No more, no more, no more. So we're back on board with Mikhail. So Mikhail is now putting pressure on Lars. So Mikhail's had a quiet race. He's just got on with it. And we know Lars has lost a few places due to himself hitting the wall. Now, again, as Mikhail kept his tyres and it's allowing him to catch Lars. But Lars isn't massively ahead in front of Chris Bourne. Sorry, behind Chris Bourne. You can see Chris Bourne just shooting off into the distance there. So I think Mikhail's looking pretty racy. Be interested to see where he ends up.
Yeah, I think the advantage he has no damage to his car when all the guys in front of him have damaged their cars.
Yeah, Nikos has just said about the TC. Yeah, we know about the TC. I try not to have them two separate apart, the TC1 and TC2 in the Aston. I think that was a flaw before the update, actually. The brake bias I always prefer at the front to give me maximum braking. The only time I move the brake bias towards the back is when I've got problems with the rear tyre, with the front tyres overheating and I can't control it. To move the bias to the back just to give me a bit more balance in the braking. But yeah, it usually means you can stop pretty well and you can go around a corner. To be honest, Nikos, I mean, you're saying there, if you've got the ABS set right and you've got the brake bias set right, the car should stay balanced because the two should work together. If you had high front bias and very low ABS, the car will be wriggly all over the place under braking. So if the ABS and the bias is set correctly, you should be able to brake fine even into a corner under harsh. I could brake into the dipper at full tilt and keep the car going around the corner. So, you know, it was very, very balanced for you. I was getting no spin at the back end or anything. But it is all about playing with your setup. Can we see Andrea? We can indeed. So Andrea's by himself at the moment. He's 2 seconds in front of Chris Bourne. Jonathan Wood is 13 seconds in front. Sorry, Jonathan Wood is 2.5 seconds in front. Chris Bourne's 1.8 behind. Jonathan Wood's 13.2 seconds behind Peter. I'll do a quick rundown on the laps, just so we get to see each driver. So we've got Peter is catching up the back markers, and that looks like that's Rhys Wiggins or Carlo. I'm not too sure. So he's coming up again. It's Carlo, yeah. So I could see it was a Bentley, I just couldn't see which one it was. So I expect Carlo to either let him go on the Conrod here, or he'll let him pass at some other point. But I don't think Carlo will fight him for obvious reasons. There you can see, it definitely looks like he's letting him go there, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's pulled over and got his blinker on. Again,
very, very good respect. Very, very good respect there. And that's to me is what driving's all about. It's understanding you're not in a race with somebody. Then we got Jonathan Wood behind, who's had a very, very clean race and just getting on with it, to be honest. He's found a lot of pace in that BMW, but once it gets bopped, it'll be a crying game, that I feel, because when they bop it on each track, I think people are going to start going, oh, the BMW is awful. So I think they'll end up doing is over-bopping it first, making it too slow, and then they'll probably average it out a little bit and equalise it. So Andrea's in third place, and he's 2.3 seconds in front of Chris Bourne. So Chris Bourne is running 3 seconds in front of Lars. And he's had a bit of contact, Chris Bourne, with the wall as a result of Lars hitting the wall earlier. Just lost a bit of concentration. The Lars now, you can see, is being caught by Mikhail, as we saw before. So Mikhail's less than a second behind. And Mikhail is 3.8 seconds ahead of Mark Rogers. Mark Rogers in the PWS car is 1.8 seconds ahead of Nelson. And as we can see there, we didn't see it on film, but Nelson managed to pass John Saunders. That's only just happened. I don't know if I've got the replay for that, but it looks like he's made the pass, and it probably was on the Conrod. We've got John Saunders, who's now less than half a second behind. I did think the Aston would pass the Ferrari, because the Ferrari looks like it's struggled against the Aston on every time an Aston's caught up to it. So I think that was a pretty much foregone conclusion. Mirch Paunov, 34 seconds behind. He went wide earlier on in the race, I think, and got himself back going again. I don't think he's got any damage to his car. He certainly hasn't pitted. He's currently in 10th place. And then 33...
He's the loneliest man on the track. He's got nobody near him.
Yeah, you're true, actually. Then the 33 seconds behind, we've got Craig Holmes. So Craig has lost a couple of places. But again, he's racing nobody as it is at the moment. He's pretty much on track by himself. And 10 seconds behind him, we've got Dimitri in the Mercedes. So again, Dimitri's not really racing anybody. He's 23 seconds ahead of Carlo. As we've seen, Carlo's already been lapped, so he's 1 lap down as a result of a pit stop. And David Noble, 70 seconds behind him, so, you know, best part of half a lap. He's also pitted. We've then got Neil Bywater, who's 11 seconds behind, but has pitted twice through 2 incidents. So that's the other Ferrari that's running. He's been having a few problems with that. I think he's hit the wall a couple of times. And then Chris Baker's 1 lap down from them. Now, according to this, he hasn't pitted. But he must have a problem if he's that far down, because he's 2 laps down. So has he had a technical problem and had to park it up? Because his car doesn't actually look damaged. So I'm a bit confused with that one. Let's jump on board and have a look at his cockpit.
Chris Baker?
Yeah.
I'm almost certain he pitted at some point.
I've got no pit stop showing against him.
No. He did stop early on.
No, the pit stop's not been captured then, because we get to see the pit stop information, so it mustn't have recorded. And then we've got David Gerrard in the pit. We've then got Rhys Wiggin in the pit, and we've got Eric Dont in the pit. They're all the retirees. So yeah, it's certainly been a bit of an interesting race. We've got 15 minutes left to go. I would say it's all to play for. Peter's looking strong out front, but as Terry said in the chat earlier, the tyres can fade. I think Stefan said on the Bentley as well. So let's see where it goes. Right. Oh, we've got Jorgen. Hi, Jorgen. Welcome to the stream. 32 viewers. Looking good, guys. Don't forget to click that like button.
In some cases, those tires are a drop off of a cliff, not just a mere fade away.
Yeah, that's it. It's like losing your wheels, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like all of a sudden they don't work anymore.
Yeah. So
what happened?
We've got Bolton Lad and Scouser. It's Peter getting 100 kgs of ballast for next season.
Yeah.
He does fly, Bolton. He absolutely shifts. The guy is like lightning, and he's such a technician when it comes to the car. He raced in the endurance race, which I think you were aware of, because I'm sure I saw you on the stream in the chat watching it. And the guy is just immense with car setups and tactics and things like that. Absolute fantastic guy to speak to as well. Really good conversations with him. But yeah, he's pretty much a technician, and we're not going to be doing ballast. I'd love to say let's penalise all the top drivers and give everybody else a chance, but that's not fair. If you're fast, aren't you?
Sorry.
Yeah, Saunders has bounced off the walls a few times. He's also ridden the curb. I think I said that when I was riding on board with him before. I didn't read whether you typed that at that point or not. Yeah, it's just Jorgen who's driving the Honda, saying he was on the CDA Discord, and apparently they've murdered the Honda. So you're going round backwards, Jorgen, because it drives better backwards. Right, let's just... I'm trying to find where there's a bit of action, but the race has become almost nullified now. I mean, we're with Andrea, and I'm just trying to... He's coming up the mountain section now. Going up to McPhillamy Park. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got a lot of people that were putting pressure on the person in front of them that now has decided, where I'm at is probably pretty good, and I'd rather do that than wreck both of us.
I think that's it
Just
as well.
bring it home.
I mean, Nelson is potentially on a good run here. The reason why I say Nelson's on a good run, now, hold on a minute, Chris Bourne's got a problem. He's lost a second and a half. It was shown he was going slow. I think Chris has hit the wall. Chris Baker's hit the wall.
Definitely got damage.
Yeah, he did. He has a severely front car
That front
damage.
end is looking a bit unsavoury now, and I think we're going to see Lars pass him. Yeah, that front end, and the front end is twitching. He's holding on to that, Chris, now, and I think we're going to see Mikhail go for it. Chris Baker's looks like he's turning this in. He's really struggling, Chris Baker. I think he's retiring. I don't know whether he's a couple of laps down, so I think he must have hit something.
Pulled over and stopped for somebody. Back up to speed.
Now it'll be interesting to see how far Chris can take this. The problem you've got, 12 minutes, it could be tyre related, and if if you're used to pushing in the mountain section, I think Jonathan Wood uses this term a lot, muscle memory. When I was racing yesterday, I got locked into every single corner, and I knew where I was braking, and I was just repeating the same, repeat. Yep. The second you make a mistake, it's almost like everything goes out the window. Now, yeah, Lars has made it here. Chris can't defend that.
Yes.
And I wonder whether Chris has hit the wall, and it's upset the balance of what he was doing. So he's going to have to reset for a couple of laps.
Mikhail's caught both of them.
Mikhail's caught both. Well, I think Chris was holding Lars up a little bit there, and that's allowed Mikhail to close in. But Mikhail's looking really fast, and we know that Aston on the straight is going to look really, really decisive. Mikhail's been with this group for a while now, but he was unable to race because he had computer problems. He raced a couple of races when he had massive computer failure, so he was waiting for parts. He's now built all that. He's actually had another problem this week. He's another one who suffered with the update, where he was struggling, and I advised him to delete the engine.ini file. Anyway, I was on to him before. I feel like technical support sometimes to you guys. I was on to him before, and I was telling him where to delete the file from. Anyway, he deleted it. He went back in the game. He's like, it all works now. Oh, and Lars is hit the wall. It's Lars's turn. So are we going to see Chris?
They're just trading it.
What it is your paint's brighter than my paint. Therefore, I need my paint on the wall. And we can see behind Nelson. There's a couple of battles going on here. Chris and Nelson's going for it. Nelson's going for it. Ooh, that's not a pass doing that. That really needs both drivers. So the PWS car, preciouswashers.co.uk, you know what to do. Get over there, PWS Clean Equipment. Proud to have them sponsoring ACC TV and allowing us to stream this great service. thanks to Don and Jeremy for giving us this great commentary as well. It's okay doing it by yourself, but it's really better having someone in the booth. So it's I like it when guys are there to give us a chat. Someone's saying Peter spun. No, I don't think.
No.
Don't think Peter spun. No, I've not seen any yellow flags on the Peter at all. I think Peter's probably... I was going to say he's eased off, but his last lap was still a 2:04.3.
He's still 16 seconds ahead of Jonathan.
Yeah, he's just ploughing ahead and he's just carrying on. Yeah, Bolton, he's
driving like he's...
Yeah.
driving like he's late for dinner,
Now, Mikhail has lost a lot of time here. Has he had a problem? So 1 minute he was threatening Lars and Chris, and he's now 2 seconds behind. So has Mikhail had a problem, because Mark Rogers has really caught Mikhail up, and now Nelson's joined the party. So we've gone from having no battle on track at all to now we've got the battle of the Astons. 3 Astons running together. This is going to be interesting. Who's going to come out on top? And I could imagine these guys, obviously having raced yesterday, are sweating. Absolutely sweating. I was shattered yesterday. I don't know if Terry's still in the stream. Were you chatted as well, Terry? Because God, it was hard work.
Chris Baker's moving over for the whole pack.
I think Chris Baker's had a bit of a nightmare. He just wants to finish, doesn't he? But what Chris Baker's realised, when he stays out, he finishes higher than the 3 guys below him.
Yeah.
I feel there's another pass coming on here, because I wonder, what a pass. I wonder whether Mikhail's had to change...
Mark Rogers right around the BMW.
Yeah, I wonder whether Mikhail's had to change his fuel mapping. He's running low on fuel.
He might have. Yeah, that's a
now,
good point.
Can we see that? Let's go to the cockpit. And let's see if we can see his fuel mapping. Can we see his fuel mapping? No, his map's still on 1. So it's not his fuel mapping, but he seems to have lost a hell of a lot of time.
Maybe he's lifting and coasting. Right along with him and see.
Yeah, okay, let's on board. Changing early. Seems all right there.
No, he can't really do much with Nelson all over him. Not much choice.
His car's looking loose though.
Oh yeah.
Very loose. I think looks like his back tyres have gone.
He may just
I don't know the dash.
They both just scraped the wall there.
Hold on. He's in an Aston, isn't he?
Who?
Mikhail.
No, he's in a Beamer.
Oh, it's a BMW. All right. Why does it Why does it say rain on his dashboard?
He's in a rain map.
I don't know. I don't know what the
rain.
I
Where
don't
does it say rain at.
I don't know what the mappings are on the BMW, but it says he's map 1. But it says rain at the bottom.
Well, it says rain underneath his speed and his RPMs.
Never seen that. Any of the BMW drivers know? I completely missed he was in a BMW.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat fill in.
Yeah, anyone know what the word rain means on the dash of the BMW? Because we're a bit flummoxed here about it, actually. Nelson's really close now.
Well, my question here is Jonathan going to be able to keep Andrea behind him?
5 seconds left to go. I think he is. I think he is. Some big names in the pits though. David Gerrard, Reese Wiggin, Eric Dont.
Yeah.
And Chris Baker's passed Carlo. Carlo's pitted again.
Yeah. Come back out.
It's really took its toll on some of the drivers here, hasn't it? Really took its toll. And look at this. They're after Chris Bourne. Let's have a look on... I'll tell you what, let's look at Jonathan's dashboard.
Yeah, Lars is 10 seconds up from this.
Oh, it's your lights.
dropped back.
It's your lights. So on Jonathan's it says beam. So it's your headlights. Right. That answers that one.
Okay.
That answers that one.
He's got his rain lights on.
He's got his rain lights on. Well, now we know. Cheers for that, Terry. I didn't think of that one, did we? Look at this. This is... Oh, Nelson's just hit the back of Mikhail. I mean, they all bunched up there. I mean, that was... Luckily, that was non-destructive, but God, that could have gone so wrong. Yeah. We're going to have a trade on the...
Take it easy and let's just bring it on home.
He's got a good run here, though.
Window.
Yeah.
It is go time.
The thing is, if you're Nelson, you're seeing 5th place.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking the same thing.
You're not seeing 8th or 7th. You're seeing 5th. And there you go. Chris is going to be taken by Rogers.
You're seeing 8th.
Oh, yeah. Chris going in the inside then. Let's go back to that. Let's go to that. Chris is not giving that up. How aggressive was that? Not. Chris was thinking, I'm braking later than you, boyo. Wow. John Saunders has gone off, I think. And Merch, I don't think there's contact.
One inside.
Oh, that was close.
No contact. That was close.
Yeah, Nelson's still looking racy up the back there. Is he going to get Mikhail? He's only got 2 laps left to do it in.
Yep. Oh, everybody went a little wide there in one.
Yeah, and there's Rogers again. Rogers is going up the inside. He's got a good run on the Lexus. Oh, very close, not contact. Now I think he's going to be able to swing it round here. I don't think Chris is going to outbrake him.
I think he's got him.
No, I don't think. Yep. I think Chris has got handling problems there, but he's not giving up. He's quick up here. He's still going for it. Oh, contact. Oh, that was close. Nearly squeezed to the wall there.
He got him now.
Yeah. Well, he has at the moment. Yeah. Now Chris is looking in his mirrors because he's got Mikhail behind him. And there is contact between Mark Rogers and Chris Buzz, so they did make contact, as we saw. Yeah, Chris is just starting to look a little bit ragged. I think his car's starting to punish him now, because he just seems like he's fighting with it a bit more than he was earlier. This is so close, isn't it? All coming through this section again, each one of them.
Yeah, he's either got aero damage, suspension damage, or his tires are gone. Because he was all over Lars and vice versa. And now, Lars is a good 13 seconds up the road from this battle.
Yeah. Andrea's 1.5 seconds behind Jonathan, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Lars is there.
No, actually, I was going to say, I'm reading that wrong. Lars is there. Lars is 15 seconds behind Andrea.
Now Nelson's looking racy again. Yeah, I think Mark Rogers is going to pass here. He's done it. He's done it. So now has Lars had to change his mapping? That was far too easy. Let's go to Lars and let's look at his mapping. Sorry, cockpit. Because that seemed too easy. Mapping 5. He's gone to fuel saving. So that's why we're seeing the cars passing. He's running low on fuel.
I can't see what Chris is in.
Well, gentlemen, Andrea is within a second to Jonathan.
Yeah. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to go to Jonathan and look at his cockpit. So he's still running map 1, so he's no fuel issues.
I tell you, you don't want to have Andrea behind you.
No.
He's a fierce competitor. I mean, he's going to do everything he can to pass Jonathan.
Chris is looking at Lars. Lars is struggling here. Lars is really struggling. I think Lars is going to lose 2 places. Although this is the last lap, so he's going to defend mightily with his life, isn't he? I'm keeping an eye on the Andrea time as well, because I think, Andrea needs to get a good run and a good tow on the Conrod, and he's not close enough for that.
He's backing him up. John Saunders is catching back of this pack.
And we can see there, Nelson passed Mikhail. In all that melee. God, the Conrod's going to be excited, isn't it? They're all going to be challenging.
There is just a gaggle of cars coming out of there. Headed down the Conrad.
Leader is on the final lap. Give it
Look at this.
And we get,
Oh,
we get to do it one
not gonna
more
get.
time.
It doesn't go 3 wide, does it? No, Nelson, don't go in the middle. Don't go in the middle. He's pushing Chris. He's going, come on, Chris, I want to pass. That's brilliant. So Nelson's gained. Mikhail's gained as well.
Yep.
So Lars lost a lot of places there.
And here comes John.
So they've got another lap to do.
One more.
It's not over. So I said Nelson could see 5th place.
Yep.
And he's looking for 5th place. Brilliant. So who are we having for driver of the day on the last lap? Anybody saying? Hi Petri.
Well, I'm gonna go for Peter Waslander because once again, he's the man of the race. He's dominated his championship.
I think Lars is out of fuel.
Yeah, he's in lap 7.
Yeah.
He always manages to win his races without any incidents.
Nelson passed Chris, and Chris got it back in this section. Chris is mighty, and Andrea is not giving up on Wood either. God, I'd love to have split screen now because we've got 2 very late battles going on. We've got this one with Nelson hunting down Chris.
Ooh, oh, never mind. Andrea just spun.
Andrea just.
Oh, he's right in the middle of the track.
He's sideways.
He's in the middle of the track.
He's in the middle of the track, sideways.
No,
Oh, now he's sideways the other way.
That's Dimitri. That's Dimitri who's just hit him, and he's gone to the pits.
Now he's in the garage.
Oh, Mark Rogers
no.
is now going for a podium, and this means Nelson can end up in 4th if he can pass Chris. What an ending!
My vote is for Mark Rogers. He came out of nowhere for a podium.
The leader has finished.
5 laps ago, what was he? 7th?
Yeah. Hi, Mike. Obviously,
Yeah,
Nelson's relative. We've got a couple of options for driver of the day. We've got Jonathan. Obviously, you've said Peter. I tell you what, I think Nelson deserves a shout, you know.
Yep. Yeah, he had a great race. Like I said, Mark Rogers.
Yeah, Mark Rogers.
Going to have a podium. Kept his nose clean all day. Made a couple passes right at the end. Podium.
Oh, he's out of fuel. Lars
Who
is
is?
done. Lars.
Oh, no.
Nelson's not giving up. Oh, I thought he was going full send then, but he's not doing. He's respected.
No.
Look how close they all finished.
Mikhail in 6th.
Wow. Wow.
7th.
So, okay.
Lars is still rolling. He's in 8th. He's still rolling.
So, first things first. Big shout out to the Group 1 champion. I think it was a foregone conclusion. Was always going to be Peter Wolfslaner. The guy is just a machine. Absolutely phenomenal. And, fully deserved being the champion, really. Lars is freewheeling to the finish line.
He's going to make it.
Just make it. So he did finish in 8th place. But yeah, Peter, congratulations, Peter. I believe he was the winner since Zolder. But we just didn't really look into it until the last couple of races. And yeah, I think driver of the day, we've got a couple of volunteers. You know what? I'm tempted to give it to 2 drivers. I know we occasionally do this. We've got Nelson and Mark Rogers, who both put on an absolute fest for us to watch. Mark Rogers and Nelson. Is that fair comment, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, so I can't obviously do the animation for both of them, but Nelson Abranosa and Mark Rogers, both joint driver of the day. That was exceptional racing towards the end. Well done, the whole of Group 1. And thanks very much for watching on the stream. We had some really good numbers viewing today, so big round of applause to everyone for watching. Thanks very much, all.
Thank you, everyone.
I want to say goodbye
We'll
from
see
me.
you all week in Belgium.
Yeah. Take care, all. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.